Yeah, I know this video's coming out extremely late. And here's the weird thing is that I saw this movie the week after it came out, so it's been almost a month since I saw this movie. But I do still want to talk about it. So this probably won't be as long as the video as I was hoping. Had I done this weeks ago, it probably would have been up to like a 20-minute video. But I might just do like a basic, like get the basics in this one done, and then maybe do like a deeper dive into some of the other stuff I want to do in another video. I don't know. This will also be the next film face-offs I do. It'll either be against Batman Begins or Man of Steel. I haven't decided which one. But let's just get right into this movie, because I know the people who want me to talk about this movie are either expecting me to love this movie or hate this movie. They're either watching this video to hear me constantly praise everything about it, or to just do nothing but bitch about it. But here's the funny thing, is that I'm dead in between on this. And I mean literally. And this isn't a case of everything is just okay on an okay level. This has some things that are really damn good in it, but it also has some things I fucking hated. So let's get into the stuff I really liked first. First off, David Corenswet. I thought he did a fantastic job in this role. And now I know everyone bitched about the recasting. I didn't have a problem with it because I want no connections to the Snyderverse at all, and the Snyderverse can burn in hell where it belongs. Even though I did like Henry Cavill as Superman, but ironically, the only time he ever acted like Superman in the DCEU was in Joss Whedon's Justice League. Every other time, he did not act like Superman. He acted like the alternate reality Injustice Superman. And that's not who he is. So, yeah, I'm not bothered by it. I thought it's Rachel something, whoever the chick who played Lois Lane, she does very good in her role as well. And I thought the Justice Gang were going to be either going to take up way too much space or be incredibly annoying. Like, I heard some reports early on that Guy Gardner got on some people's nerves. I thought he was great. I thought Nathan Fillion did a fantastic job as Guy Gardner. Again, I could have done without the stupid bowl cut, but what can you do? The other character, Mr. Terrific, was pretty cool and had some funny lines. Hawkgirl was pretty forgettable, and I don't really care for the screech that the really annoying screech that she was doing throughout the action sequences. I could have done without that. But she was fine, I guess. I mean, there was nothing wrong with her, but she's just kind of forgettable. Metamorphosis Man was kind of cool. I like the abilities. I like how they showed it off. I liked how he was utilized. The action sequences are pretty good. And one thing I really like about the action sequences is that we actually have Superman saving people. Because the thing is that people always, the Snyder fans, the 8 of them that are left, whenever you criticize all the just blatant just violence and destruction that happens in Man of Steel, they're like, well, what do you expect? He's fighting 3 big superpowered beings. Yeah, but he barely saves anybody. He saves a couple of people, but that's about it. Throughout the fights in this movie, in particular the one against the big kaiju monster, I forgot what it's called, he's actually going around saving people and even animals. He even saves a freaking squirrel from being crushed. In Man of Steel, that would have just been... Man of Steel, he personally knocks down several buildings, but in this movie, he's willing to stop fighting the monster to go save a squirrel. That's Superman. And that's something else about this movie. But, you know what, I'll get back to that in a second. I was talking about the action, is that it still feels fast, you still feel the hits and everything, but they don't have... And they do kind of do the city destruction thing, but it's not borderline apocalyptic like Man of Steel was. And it actually had consequences because it wasn't just because of the fighting, it was something caused by Lex Luthor being a dumbass, and he rightfully got his comeuppance for it. So there were consequences to that. And maybe there will be down the line, probably not. But another thing this movie really gets right is the character of Superman, his personality, how he talks, how he acts. It's done very, very well. Let's get to the stuff I hated now. Now, there's more stuff that I did like throughout this, but I'm gonna mainly go over the stuff I really liked and really hated. So, the stuff I really hated, one of the things I could not stand, and everybody I've talked to personally, including someone who saw it with me, said the same thing. His parents sending him to basically take over the Earth is one of the biggest slaps in the face to the comics I've seen in a Superman movie. What the fuck were they doing with this? And now, you think the obvious route is that Lex Luthor manipulated the footage to make it look like that's what they said, when in reality, that's not what it is. It's been done before, but I get where they're going with it, especially with the big theme around this movie, about the big social media emphasis in this movie, which I'll get back to in a minute. But no, he didn't tamper with the footage at all. That's actually what his parents legitimately sent him to Earth to take them over, even saying in the message, kill as many as you have to if it comes to that, or something. What the fuck? Even Man of Steel didn't have his parents say that. I mean, he kind of implies is that, they will follow you, but even in that context, it felt more like, I guess it's the big Jesus allegory, which, again, comparing him to Jesus is one of the laziest fucking things you can do. But at least it was a better sentiment than what they're going with here. What were they thinking? And something else I hated everything surrounding Lex Luthor. Everything. I didn't like how he was written. I didn't like his plan. And his backstory was stupid. Like, he didn't even really have a backstory in this. Like, his whole motivation is the generic, he has too much power and we could be at his mercy at any moment. It basically just ripping off Batman v Superman, which is not a movie you want to rip off. And Nicholas Holt's performance, it's not bad, and even if it was, it's not his fault. Because the way this character is written, he is written to be a whiny son of a bitch who is not intimidating in the slightest. I could not take him seriously at all. Honestly, my favorite live-action Lex Luthor is surprisingly, of all people, Kevin Spacey from Superman Returns. That movie's mediocre as fuck, but he was really good in the role. And the whole thing with the entire movie basically being tailored around, like, social media and everything is incredibly cringy. It's gonna date this movie in 5 years. And even to the point where, pretty much every report of something fucking stupid in this movie that came about beforehand was right. Like him being upset about a bunch of hashtags that go around, like hashtag super shit. Yes, that's actually in the movie, and holy Christ, I legitimately cringed in my seat. And then Lex Luthor has a bunch of hyper-intelligent monkeys that he literally has do nothing but make mean social media posts about Superman. No, really, I heard about that about a month before the movie came out, and even at that point, I told myself, that has to be fake, there's no fucking way that's actually in a $200 million superhero blockbuster. But no, it's there. Krypto has almost no purpose in this movie whatsoever. Like, you could cut him and really not miss much. I mean, he's cute, but that's about it. The CGI is horrendous, but And that's another thing, the CGI in this movie is kind of hit and miss. Like, sometimes it looks pretty good, like, I think the kaiju monster actually looked pretty good. Most of the Green Lantern constructs were a lot of fun, they were way better than the 2011 movie. Like, especially when, during the big final fight, where he's making a bunch of constructs, like, blowing up, like, tanks and everything, he had, like, middle fingers, like, coming out of the ground and everything. That was pretty fun. But again, there are some effects that just didn't look good. Like, Crypto especially looks very artificial. And then there's Ultraman, who, it's the most obvious twist in the world. Everybody guessed it before the movie even came out, including myself, that it was just a genetic clone of Superman. Like, they couldn't even make it from the, they couldn't even bring the actual backstory from the comics. It's just a genetic clone. It's like Ben Reilly, it's like the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. That's all this character is, and he doesn't even talk. He's just you might as well have made him Bizarro at this point. Or I guess he does talk, but he really doesn't. Like, he can, but he really does. It's one of those types of characters that's really dumb. And Superman tries to, like, talk to him during the final fight and everything, and obviously doesn't work and everything. It's like, you might as well just make this character Bizarro instead of Ultraman. And there's a lot of DC EU cameos, like Peacemaker has a cameo, because fucking course he does. Well, not DCEU, DCU. Sean Gunn makes a cameo as Maxwell Lord, because James has to shove his brother into fucking everything. And then we obviously had the Justice Gang, which Metamorphosis Man joins at the end of the movie. And then there's some things in this movie that were hit and miss. Like I said, the effects were kind of hit and miss. The jokes were kind of hit and miss. It had some pretty funny beats. There were some really stupid decisions made by characters in this movie that are just, like, there's especially the blonde chick, who's like the big social media poster for Lex Luthor. Like, near the end of the movie, she decides to fully expose Lex Luthor. So she calls Jimmy Olsen, who she's also dating, because that totally makes sense. Because obviously that fucking dweeb would, whatever. Not the point. The point is that she makes this phone call to him while still in Lex's building. When he literally told her to fucking leave, all she had to do was leave the building, then make the phone call, and she would have been fine. But considering she hid in a closet, like, 20 feet away from Lex's office, as she obviously got caught and thrown in Luthor's little prison in a little pocket dimension. So, yeah, even for this type of character, even for as stupid as they were making this character, that's just extra stupid, because you had a free out, because he literally just told you to leave. All you gotta do is just leave the fucking building. This isn't complicated. But, yeah, I could talk more about this, but like I said, I just kind of want to get my thoughts about the basic thoughts about this movie out of the way, just so I can say I did the review, so I can move on to other stuff. So I can get other stuff done, because I'm always like, okay, I want to do this video, but I should probably do the Superman review first, and then I just kept putting off the Superman review, so that's all I got for this. I'm giving Superman a C. Not a horrible start to the DCU. I mean, I know technically Creature Commandos was the start to the DCU, but really, who cares about Creature Commandos? I still haven't seen it. Maybe I'll give it a shot, but I honestly don't think it's going to be any good. So, as far as universe starts, it's not horrible, but it's definitely no Iron Man. So that's all I got, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.